Where'd you learn the martial arts?
Big surprise. Huge surprise.
I'm starting to get in a bad mood, you know? Maybe it's like a mood swing, my hormones, I don't know. You know, maybe it's my need to impose my will.
Good evening. You're listening live to Kicking It. I'm your host, Rob. I'm broadcasting from the Pinos Palace, just west of Orlando, Florida. From the Dairy Winter Wonderlands, as it were, we have a special guest this evening, and that's, of course, the dairy god himself, the real Dr. V. Good evening, sir. How are you?
Well, I don't consider myself a dairy god. I'm not really a farmer, bro. I'm in the city.
City, farmers, big business, small business. You're from Dairyland, sir. That's just how it is.
The nearest senior citizen from Florida.
I'll own it.
Playing that game.
Okay. But what I won't own is the fallout from the movie that we're going to be discussing today. It's called Gamer with Gerard Butler from, I think 2009, that was on our top 10 lists. And what I'm not going to own is just how prescient, to use the big word of the night, instead of, say, cheese. To talk about this movie, because I think the word cheese and prescient both apply, because it's about Gerard Butler and gaming, and it's kind of like a comedy action movie to me. I hate to say that, but I'm gonna say action first with a lot of funny stuff in it. And this thing is just pretty whacked out. And at the time, I was kind of like, this is dumb, this is stupid, this is a silly kind of movie. But then I started watching it, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm kind of vibing on this. If you need to take some diazepam or whatever, so all the shaky cam stuff doesn't make you puke, like from altitude sickness or just from potential mental effects, seizures and whatnot, take it, because you're definitely going to need it. But actually, I thought this movie was pretty good. What did you think?
I'll just say this: it's a really good movie, despite it being a box office flop.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, the budget $50 million, it only made $42 million. But I'm thinking, back then, is like, I'm watching it. You got Dexter in here. Is the bad guy.
Flamboyantly speaking.
You got Gerard Butler kicking ass like he does, like in other movies, in Angels Fallen, Opus Fallen. You have Terry Crews, of all people, in here, that is playing an antagonist too, who's trying to kill him. Another inmate. Basically, the whole concept is this: what if you could there's a system for all you gamers. You could pay. You can mirror yourself in this game, and you get to control someone. And basically, you're playing Call of Duty multiplayer, player versus player, and stuff like this. Well, basically, the guy who plays, I forget his name is Dexter. I think it's Michael C. Hall. I think his name.
Yes.
Yeah. He basically is a computer genius, nanite genius. He creates these nanites to put in the inmates, because in the 2034, basically they're running out of room in the prisons, so they need a solution. So he offers the government, you know what? Here, we'll create a game. It's called Slayers, where video game players can pay money and you can fully experience and you can control these inmates. And I think you have to win 30 matches or in order to be released. And Gerard Butler, that plays Kable, he's at 27. Means he's, by the grace of God, he's able to stay alive with someone else controlling. That pissed me off.
It's about to break new ground.
So basically he has to get the 30, and obviously this is no good for the Michael C. Hall. He does not want him the win this, because then somebody actually beat his game, so. To him, is always one giant test, because Michael C. Hall, his character Castle, he basically wants control of everyone after this. This is a sales pitch. He said, he can just make anybody he wants. He wants you to vote for this person.
A false flag operation, if you will, sir.
Yeah. Yes.
With the blessing of the government.
And the only thing he did not count on was Gerard Butler, Kable. leading a resistance against him eventually. But well, before we get to that, Logan Lerman is the 17-year-old boy that's basically been like controlling Kable. And one day, he notices that Kable decides, he to do something that he didn't tell him to do. And even Kable is kind of surprised he's able to do this stuff. He's in during the whole war game. Like it's basically it's like Counter Strike or like Call of Duty. You're seeing people just drop off. You're seeing the little guy, people get shot and all. And he starts noticing there's like these people like in white just going through the games, and just out of nowhere they have no reason to be there. And so when he's seeing this, he's thinking, okay, these people are part of the game. And turns out there's resistance, this group of hackers who've been trying to get free Kable because they want Kable to really read the resistance. The only thing is that Kable doesn't want to, he's glad to get out, but the only thing he cares about right now is getting his daughter and his wife. His wife's, who's also been is another game called Society. Society is basically where live actors can be manipulated by people behind the computer. And his wife is controlled by this fat SOB. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah,
and you see this guy on there. This
reminds you of Blade, how bad this guy is.
Oh my gosh, I literally threw up in my mouth when I saw him. I forgot about him when I watched this again.
He's a looking guy. I mean, it's the typical, hey, let's summarize everybody that's just behind the computer and doesn't come out of their mommy's basement, as being really, really fat and disgusting and hasn't bathed in days, and just, pile of their own filth, so to speak, too.
Yeah.
But
and he's sitting there, he's controlling a girl avatar, so obviously he's bisexual or gay, and he wants her avatar to hook up with some other male avatar, like obviously have sex in a hotel room so you can watch. It's really disgusting. But before that can even happen, here comes Gerard Butler, and breaks the guy in half over his knee. And then takes his wife, and while he's trying to get out of this little, seedy club or hotel, here comes Terry Crews out of nowhere, just shoots him with a shotgun, and so it cuts away. So that, and then she's being dragged to the elevator, and then there's a scene in the elevator where there's another couple, and they're obviously controlled avatars making out, and his wife's still under control of this seedy fat SOB, and he's like, take the knife, kill him. He's getting off to that stuff, and so Terry Crews kills the other two people, breaks his neck, stabs them. Gerard Butler survived the bullet because he's wearing Kevlar armor, which is good because what's funny is he's using the same Kevlar he escaped with. He just had like a long trench coat over or winter coat or something. I don't know what that was all about, but so basically after that, he gets his wife, and then he's basically agrees to help him because his daughter, he wants to get his daughter out. His daughter's been his wife, even though she was renting herself out as a whore, avatar whore, could not afford to pay for their daughter to take care of her, so the social service stepped in as cunts and basically just took their daughter away. This movie is Society. It's 2034 when this happens, so it's not that far off, man. We got 14 years.
Well, for me, this movie, kind of delves, like I say, it's an action film with some comedy kind of stuff, some flamboyant performances. I mean, you have Keith David in here, just to mention it because we like Keith David, John Leguizamo, and some others. But the thing I thought about it too, watching it, is I would not call this science fiction. I know they have this nice little setup, but it's just a nice little way to kind of use something that's it hit critical mass by this point where most people are online playing games, doing stuff, especially women. It's not nearly as a situation that you're embarrassed to be a part of, like, oh my god, I'm a gamer, I like to sit home and I play in a clan and my people do this and do that. I mean, it's commonplace, and that's how this first generation of gamers, it's like I said, hit critical mass. And the movie, it could have probably done something a little deeper, but it didn't want to, and frankly it didn't need to. And I think that's one of the things I appreciate about this film is this. You talked about the scene with how gross the guy is. You talked about how he's trying to rescue his wife, and that's just a little sideshow to get away from the game being played there too, because of the whole Dexter plot going on. But of course, they totally ignore the whole, for the most part, the convenience of the nanites allowing people to control them. They don't explain necessarily too much about where it comes from. It's just the thing that allows what's going on to happen. And you know what? For this kind of movie, That's 100% fine. This is kind of like, the Running Man of the late 2000s. Let's say it's just goofy, it's kind of silly, it's enjoyable. And Gerard Butler, to your point, this movie had kind of flopped. So for him being an action star, I don't think had been really, I guess, decided at this point. So I'm glad that he had continued to kind of do some of these films. We covered, Angel Has Fallen and some of those, but I think the movie is enjoyable, and it's, to use a pun of one of the minor characters in there, it's a bit ludicrous, perhaps. But yeah, it is goofy, it is dumb. But what I like is how Gerard Butler, he always has that serious nature to him, and that allows the rest of everybody else to kind of be goofy and have fun. If Gerard Butler's being dumb and stupid in here, this movie wouldn't work. For him having that look on his face that we've really come to appreciate as an action star really carries this movie, in my opinion. What do you think?
What I thought was really cool is you had Ludacris in here as Hackman, the main character, one of those guys who played the Resistance.
Yep.
He's this computer whiz, so he's not that much different from in being in his fear stuff, but he does kind of like that. He's kind of a nerd. And Gerard Butler has to go over to get his he finds where the family adopted his daughter was Michael C. Hall's Dexter, the evil bastard, has his daughter. So he has to go there, and I love this scene where and he goes and he's gonna go kill him, and and Kable is Gerard Butler is gonna kill Michael C. Hall. Mm-hmm. And the knife and stuff, he's like, well, no, he's like, you can't do it because he's like, I have the nanites on my body. I have to. He's like, no, normally people don't know this, but I can have the original nanites. Mine send out signals. They tell you what to do. You're my puppet. It's like, he's like, he's like, he basically tells him, like, you're going to slit your daughter's throat and then kill your wife, right in front of him. And but he doesn't realize that Hackman, Ludacris, had been airing this on the TVs outside, Time Central and stuff, Central Square, or whatever it's called, Times Square. And so, this is going on. So everybody's watching this, everything, and till they realize, so he's like, he goes, Gerard Butler basically fights it off, puts the knife on the ground, and he's like, "Oh shit, how's he doing that?" He's like, so somebody's jamming the signal. He's like, well, freaking unjam it. It's like, so then he goes to try to stab him, and he's the center. He's like, and he's freaking out. He's like, and Gerard Butler, when he's got him right there, he's like, I want you to think about this, I want you to think about the knife going into your gut and you just, just stabbing you. And it's like, nothing you can do about it. You're just going to die as it tears into your guts. And when he finally does it, and he's like, the hacker guy, or not the hacker guy, but Michael C. Hall has his own group of nerds. Like, they look like Bill Gates. They're all in the turtleneck sweaters and they all have the black, everything. Look like a Sprocket.
Mike Myers. Sprocket's guy. Yeah. That was the time we dance.
You see this, and then the tech guy is like, "Oops," just so out of place. He just says, "Oops," like that's. I was like, "What?"
Yeah, I want to notice. I want to real quick before you finish up here that for some reason the chat's been disabled. I don't know why or how, but I know some people are listening, so they can hear us and everything too. But just FYI.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. Man, something's getting gamed here. I don't know what's going on with YouTube, for God's sakes. Yeah. So no, I mean, the movie's goofy, but let's take a serious moment, if we can be serious for a minute, and talk about the action sequences. I talked about the shaky cam kind of goofing on it because it's really noticeable. I think the action in here is pretty good. What do you think?
For a movie, yeah. For 2009 movie, dude. A sci-fi action here. The action, there's a little comedy. I mean, Terry Crews, man. Whatever Terry Crews is about, there's always comedy. Whether he's creating it or he's just his actions, as far as he does. No, I would sure recommend this movie for people who haven't seen it. This is all Lion Gates films, and Lion Gates is known for doing some pretty good movies, even though they're low budget. I recommend you check out some more of the movies by Lion Gates, but definitely check out this movie. And dude, and Dexter, man, like, he's got a southern accent. And he's like, "Hey, my name's Ken Castle." I was like, what? So, yeah, and another reason I love this because I love nanites. Anything that has to do with nanite stuff, technology, because that's always intrigued me and stuff. You know, if you had nanites, you could do this and stuff, healing, self-replicating, all this stuff. That's basically like your science fiction, like kind of like geeky stuff. Most people don't touch on, but they touch on in this because
Yeah, and to me, part of the action stuff with it too, regardless of what the story is, it's done by I think the guys that did Crank, which is I thought a fantastic way of doing kind of action, really hyped up and all that too, with the transporter guy in it. Thought that was pretty interesting. So I didn't really think about it at the time, but when I was looking at the film yesterday, I was like, oh, it's done by those guys. And then I go back and I think about the action sequences and some of the stupid stuff we're talking about. It makes sense because it's kind of like one of those a grindhouse type film where it's stylistic. It's not trying to necessarily. I'm not going to say not trying to be serious, but they're emphasizing the some of the glamour aspects of what's going on in here, but they're making it hardcore. Like you say, the action's pretty good. The violence is pretty nice. It's more the explosiony type and all that, but they don't hold back from it rather than being a lot of prop effects or whatever. And there's some good shots in here too, but it's when you have somebody like Dexter, Michael C. Hall in here playing it so over the top and goofy. It's a nice break between all the explosions and the action, everything going on. That's the quote unquote serious nature of him trying to like get his family back and all that, because of course that has to happen before he can go up the boss food chain and get to Michael C. Hall, Mr. Castle, and everything else. And then you have of course Terry Crews in there, like you said, being a goof. And anytime he's in something, you automatically go, oh, this guy's what kind of film that you have. So yeah, I agree with you. I think it's definitely a movie that I think seriously kind of captures what it's like to kind of be a gamer as far as like the action on screen. It's hard to do that. I think some movies that try to do it don't capture it. And I think one movie that it's been compared to that people say suck also, that we talked about a little bit, that we thought was decent, was Stone Cold Steve Austin's The Condemned. they're kind of similar. They're doing this so people can watch it.
And as much, yeah, so many people would say that it's a cookie cutter film. Like you compare Gamer and Condemned. Dude, I love this kind of action. Like, I love having like the antagonist. I mean, the Condemned is another great movie. Even though normally I would say say it wouldn't be because because Stone Cold Steve Austin there because it's a wrestler WWE film. But I was shocked. I was like, dude, that actually turned out to be good too. Definitely would love to cover that sometime. But no, Gamer was actually really good. And I was reading up on this. They filmed this in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Yeah.
It only took them 50. Yeah. They even had downtown Albuquerque. Dude, they had sets, and everything was going on. And then in 2009, because they filmed it in 2007, in 2009 when it was supposed to come out, they the original name of this movie was Game. Then they called it Citizen Game. Horrible name.
Yep.
And then they changed it back to the Gamer. So thank you for keeping it to Gamer and not Citizen Game, because that would have been horrible.
Yeah, might as well have called it Citizen Lame. Yeah, I mean, I think most people who joined recently, or even old timers of this stream that we do here on the Xtreme Movie Show, no matter which playlist you listen to or show, I think they've probably already seen this movie, so they know it's pretty funny too, and it's a decent action film. But I think it's a good way of saying, hey, here's a guy that didn't like some rom-com type stuff, Gerard Butler, but you throw him into this, and he's well suited for the role. And I think that on a more serious note, when we had talked about this during our Top 10 Tuesdays with Angleton from I Love Comics, is that I thought if they ever were to do a remake of, say, Escape from New York, which is one that's been talked about for quite some time, I've always thought Gerard Butler would be a believable Snake Plissken. Not that there aren't other people that probably couldn't do it, but he's done enough of the movies, Olympus Has Fallen, all of those, where I go, yeah, I see him as Snake Plissken. I see him doing something like it. He's got that expression. One of the things that I just wanted to mention to everybody too, thinking about it as we're getting ready to close up, is that we're doing this because we're just calling it Gerard Butler Week, because we wanted to cover law-abiding citizens so bad. We said, hey, let's do Gamer and let's do law-abiding citizens. So Tuesday, that's the plan. But the more I'm thinking about Gerard Butler, I'm going, God, there's so few, and we've talked about this before, Doctor, action stars that we go, hey, I really want to see more of what this person does. We love Tom Cruise, but that's a different kind of action. Whereas Gerard Butler, I'm going, I don't know who else compares to him right now. Can you think of anybody?
Uh, as far as him doing action roles, he's kind of what man. I say his
Denzel does
action
good
stuff.
action, but Denzel's not young anymore, you know?
Well, I'm just saying when he was making movies was Christopher Lambert doing his action movies. This is a little bit better than that. I mean, but Gerard actually no Tom Hardy. I compare him to Tom Hardy right now. Tom Hardy when he does action movie, he can do well. Same with Gerard Butler.
Yeah,
I'd
you
say
know,
they're
Tom
both.
Hardy, I could see that. Yeah, I agree with you on that. That's a good call, and
And
he's somewhat recent.
dude, I would love to see him and Tom Hardy playing brothers in a movie where they have to Tom Hardy's just screw up and he and Gerard Butler's older brother and he has to get him on a jam. That's what I want to see. Let him give him some movie, man. I don't care if it's Super Mario Brothers like on crack. I don't care. I want to see them them in an action movie together.
Well, guys, if you have not seen Gamer, check it out. It's a lot of fun. It's kind of goofy and silly with a lot of action and explosions, that type. It's certainly not, I would call it a serious film, but it's definitely entertaining. It's a thumbs up from me. Doctor, you got any final thoughts?
Final thoughts? Not really. I mean, just don't trust Dexter in any movie.
Well said from the dairy god himself, the real Dr. V, giving you a dose of vitamin D, which we all need during these corona times.
Thanks, old man.
Experience or not age. You know, I get a little wisdom with that. So, you know, Enlity's not here. He's the old man. We know this, okay? Anyway, don't call me Boomer.
Okay, Boomer.
And thanks everybody for listening. Thanks for liking. Thanks for sharing and subscribing and getting the word out there too. We're growing, like I say, at a steady rate. I'm looking forward to seeing that continue. We're planning on covering some more, and that means Tuesday, before Top 10 Tuesday, we're going to be doing another Gerard Butler flick, since it's Gerard Butler week during this coronavirus time, and we're going to be doing Law Abiding Citizen. So make sure you get a chance to watch that ahead of time, or if not, doesn't really matter. Just listen to the stream then. Thanks for listening, guys. Stay extreme.